Welcome back to GameFace SFNL Netball show for this week. Very exciting, Hugh, you're back with us.
Yes, I've spent enough time lying on the beach, so thought it might be time I came back and did a bit of work.
Well, welcome back. So today with our top stories, we have Caulfield and Cheltenham playing out a thriller.
And what a thriller it was.
We've caught up with St Paul's star Zoe Lithgow on the weekend. And we'll also be giving a mid-season report on each team. Very exciting, meeting the halfway mark of the season.
Injuries. Well, we have injuries. Well, we've only got 3 of them this week, which is better than some weeks we've had recently. Marina Cooper from Dingley has done an ankle, sadly. Michelle Bazaskaya from Hampton, I hope I've pronounced that right, Michelle, has injured a calf, and Charlotte Conway from Bentley has injured an ankle. So all those 3 girls and any others that we may have missed, get well quick.
Yeah, we wish you all the best with your recovery and hope you're back on court soon. And on the courts on Saturday, we had 3 really exciting games take place. We had St Paul's 33 defeated by Dingley 59. And unfortunately, I don't think St Paul's had a taste of this all day, but they did very well for the circumstances that they've had.
Yeah, well, they've had quite a bit of illness and injury go through the side, and again, there were a few players short on the weekend of their normal full strength side.
Yeah.
But goodness gracious, how good are Dingley? They just didn't give St Paul's a look in, let's be honest. And look, very much Premiership favourites, and rightly so. They just keep going and not showing any signs of slowing down whatsoever. Yeah,
they're very polished, and they didn't take their foot off the pedal all game, and that's for sure. So a very interesting game to see from Dingley, and also St Paul's to see how they tried to match their skills there. And our next game, we had Cheltenham 35 defeated by Caulfield 36. So absolute thriller there for Caulfield, and unfortunately Cheltenham just missing out on the win.
Cheltenham looked all over the winners at half-time, 9-goal lead and really playing Caulfield off the court. Caulfield came back with a stellar third quarter. Tiffany McConnell, really excellent game, especially in that third quarter, took the game by the scruff of the neck. Sophie O'Shea in the circle, just not missing. And Jemima Price, word for her in the centre. She had probably her best game of the season.
And she was playing up from our Division 2 side.
That's right.
Very exciting for Jemima there, and congratulations on an absolute pearler of a game.
Yeah, look, she's good enough to play Division 1.
Yeah.
There are obviously quite a few players in Division 2 that are. But she really played well in this game. Caulfield took the lead just before 3/4 time. Last quarter was goal for goal. The winning goal was potted by Sophie O'Shea with 7 seconds to play, and Al Seidley, sorry, pronounced that right, for Cheltenham had the chance to level it with a shot from the edge of the circle after the siren, but unfortunately ball hit the ring and bounced harmlessly away. So that was the win for Caulfield.
Yeah, and very exciting for the Bears, obviously, to be back on the winners list there and getting another win under their belt. Obviously for Cheltenham, their break unfortunately didn't do them justice, and through some conversations we had, they actually had Riley stepping in because Annabelle was out of action. So interesting to see how that matchup will go later on in the season again when we see Cheltenham v Caulfield for a second time.
Yeah, well, Riley Hamilton was excellent in that game, but Annabelle Gorman has shown to be one of the premier shooters in the whole division this year, and so was obviously missed. Could she have been the difference? Well, we'll never know. But, certainly a very good game in netball, that one.
Yeah, and then finally we had Oakley District 28 defeated by Heatherton 62. And by all results, this was a bit of a shock result from Heatherton having such a convincing win. We thought it would be closer. And just the way that both teams played out, it was great to see solid sportsmanship on court. And obviously Heatherton just too polished there and really united, which I think is the difference between Heatherton and Oakley District at the moment. I think they both have really strong lists on paper, but Heatherton's just been able to connect and make those connections on court, where I think Oakley might be struggling a little.
Little word for the defenders in this game. Heatherton's back three, Tegan Stevenson, Carly Foster and Jane Higgs. Absolutely sensational games, all three of them, and just snuffed out anything that Oakley District could throw at them. They were just fantastic. And Beth Wilson, one of our favourites over here, 45 goals in this game.
Phenomenal effort.
I think is a season high in Division 1. Yeah, look, she just had a day out, really.
Yeah, and obviously Morty Alec with the bye there. Now looking at the ladder after round 7, which we did say is the halfway point, it's really interesting to see that our top 4 are Dingley, Heatherton, Oakley District and Cheltenham. So Cheltenham just holding on for the position in 4th there, with Morty Alec catching them up on percentage, and will be interesting to see how Morty Alec comes out of their week off, and Cheltenham and St Paul's wrapping up the ladder.
Now, 4th spot will be very interesting. At the moment, you've got Cheltenham, Morty Alec and Caulfield on the same number of points, on 8 points. Cheltenham have played easily the better netball over the season than the other two have.
Yeah.
But Morty Alec and Caulfield have got the experience. Now, is that going to show in the second half of the season? Only time will tell.
Yeah.
I'd really like to see Cheltenham play finals because they've been a breath of fresh air for this competition. But if they don't this year, I'm willing to back that they will next year.
Yeah, and I think Cheltenham has just been the rocket that everyone sort of needed in Division 1 to give it some new spice, and their youth has just been phenomenal in their ability to play with each other and step up to those big names in the league. And moving into our mid-season report card, which is obviously something that we talked about in our top stories for the show tonight. We've based this on expectations, so where we thought teams were and also what we expected them to be with the list they had. We're going to try and fly through this and give you a positive and maybe something that we've highlighted as an area for improvement, I think would be the best word for it. So we're starting with Caulfield. We've given Caulfield a C-. I think Caulfield have had some really promising games like last week, and it's interesting to see how they're going, but hopefully they'll be stronger in the second half of the year.
Positive for me is the fact that they seem to be building momentum. Negative for me has been possibly a bit of a drop in on-court intensity.
Yeah.
And that's something that will have to be fixed in the second half of the year, but it can be fixed.
Yeah, so really hopefully some changes there in Caulfield, and obviously their intensity lifted last week. Cheltenham, we've given it an A. Just their youth, and also they were really the underdogs at the start of the year, and now they're sitting in the top 4. So a real positive for them is how they've taken to Div 1, how they've stepped up to the challenge, and I guess their results. Their results have been really promising, so interesting to see there, and I guess Hugh's something they need to work on.
A couple of things worry me about Cheltenham. A, have they run out of steam? But B, has the rest of the league worked them out by now?
Yeah.
And I think Cheltenham's second half of the season will be a bit harder than their first for them, but look, they have certainly shown that they're more than capable at this level, and more power to them. I wish them luck for the second half of the season.
Yeah, Dingley, we can't fault at the moment, and we've given them an A+. Just their drive, their passion, and how they've come back from missing out on grand final position last year has been phenomenal. And I guess a real positive for Dingley is just their teamwork, their intensity and their passion for a win. They're really hungry for it this year, and something that they need to keep working on. I honestly couldn't pick one easily.
The only thing that really worries me about Dingley is how they'll cope with VNL commitments. That will test their depth. They've probably got greater depth than most clubs. But again, how they slot into the Div 1 side will, well,
it'll be interesting, yeah. Heatherton, we've given an A. Heatherton's been really interesting with a really different lineup this year, and I think they've stepped up to expectations. Some were rating them, others weren't. But just how they've gelled, their unity is phenomenal again. I guess an area Heatherton need to work on is, I guess, their diversity, as we were talking before. If they don't have the likes of Beth Wilson in the circle, how will they cope? So I guess diversity and having that person to step into that role.
The positive for them, for me, is their defence. It really has stepped up and is working very well as a unit, and is shutting down even the best attacking sides. So Heatherton v Dingley after the Queen's Birthday weekend will be really something to watch, that game.
Yeah. Morty Alec, we've given a D. Unfortunately, just their drive this year hasn't been there like it has in the past. And obviously being grand final winners, to come back and now be sitting at 5th with only 2 wins out of 7 rounds is a bit disappointing. But a real positive for them is just the way they're building. I think they're really building. They're starting slow, but I don't think they'll miss out on finals. I think they'll keep building really hard there, so hopefully Morty Alec can make that.
It's almost a full team of seasoned Division 1 players coming back in the second half of the season. So, yes, I think Morty Alec will play finals. How far they go is open to debate, but I think they will play finals.
Yeah, and I guess a real area for improvement is just keeping the consistency up with their wins. Oakley District, we've given a B. I think they had a really strong list, and they still do. Just they haven't gelled the way that I think we would have liked to see. But a real strength of theirs is just how they coach one another on the court. Their team talk is great, and it's nice to see that they're really working hard and trying to bring it to the higher teams.
The thing that gets me about Oakley District is we haven't really seen them play 4 quarters in a game yet. They're very up and down even within individual matches. If they can put it together for the full game, then they're a danger to anyone. Oakley have struggled a little bit for personnel in recent weeks. If they get a few players back, then look, that'll all change. Look, Oakley are in 3rd at the moment. It's their spot to lose.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Obviously, St Paul's, we've given it a C+. I think St Paul's have had some really promising signs of netball. Obviously, coming from being a Division 1 side in 2017, being dropped to Div 2 in 2018, and now back into Division 1. I think they've really had that chance to rebuild, and I think the second half of the year they'll start to hit their stride a bit more and really bring it to some of those higher teams. It'll be interesting.
I've been saying for a couple of weeks that a win's close to this side. I still believe that. The positive for them is the way they work hard for each other. They really haven't let their spirit drop at all. They're still a difficult side to play. They can put goals on the board. Defending at the other end is the biggest problem for them. Again, look, that may come good in the second half of the season, but we'll see.
All right, so that summarises our report cards for halfway through the season, and we would now like to throw to a beautiful interview that Hugh did with Zoe Lithgow from St Paul's on the weekend, and it was great to catch up with her, so let's check it out.
Okay, I've got Zoe Lithgow here from St Paul's. So you're back from injury, mate?
Yes, finally.
Yes, yeah.
Long enough.
That cost you about 3 weeks?
5.
5? Okay, there you go, I can count. So, yeah, look, you look fairly sharp on return last week, but couldn't quite get the points.
Yeah, a bit out of match practice, I think. Just couldn't get the goals in, and the pressure was a bit too much. So.
Yeah, fair enough. Well, you've talking about pressure, you've got Dingley today, so it doesn't let up. Okay, how are you going to go about beating Dingley?
I think it's about keeping it short, not going for the long option, and really watching their zones, because they do back off and really go on a hunt for the ball. So
yeah, they do, don't they?
Yeah.
Their ball movement again has been killing sides so far this year.
Oh, they're so quick. They're like
that's it. That's
all
it.
over it.
Have you got plans to counter that?
I think we're going to try box a bit, try hunt and go out and really put the pressure down the court as they're bringing it down for the turns over from our attacking ones.
Now I'm going to head back to that injury. You looked still a little bit sore last week.
Still not quite there.
How are you? You all right?
That's pretty good. It's about 90%. It's more like I just really want to get back into it.
Yeah.
So,
fair enough.
Yeah.
Well, I'll let you get back to your warm-up. Thank you very much for your time and good luck to the girls today. Thanks, Zoe.
And Hugh, it was great to see you catch up with Zoe there. Really bright personality. And
Very bubbly person and really lifts the St Paul side.
yeah. And nice to see her back after a bit of injury as well. And hopefully we'll see Zoe on the panel for one show maybe.
Well, she may well do.
Yeah. And Hugh, we're now throwing to your favourite segment.
Under the bus. And who have we got to throw under the bus today?
Well, Hugh, I'm actually going to start with you.
Oh, God, what have I done?
I'm just going to throw you under the bus because I think that courtside, you're just like, you're nearly just getting too intense on the side of the court. I just see you slowly getting closer to the court and everything like that, and really watching the games instead of being your normal self with your notepad in front of you.
Oh.
Yeah, so I can see
something I'm going to have to watch.
I can see a passion there, Hughes, just gone next level. But really funny to
what
see.
Are you frightened that I might invade the court?
Oh, soon you might be in the dress. Like, who knows? So
that's something that nobody wants to see.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll tell you, ladies and gentlemen.
So yeah, I guess that's my under the bus for this week.
Okay, I'm going to throw Sue Kimber under the bus.
Oh.
Sue.
What's she done this time?
Well, Sue, you really need to work on your fitness here, Sue, I'm afraid. Sue, unfortunately, had to be pressed into umpiring in one of the games, and by her own admission, she was rather puffed after it. So, Sue, if you're going to be indulging in that sort of behaviour, do a bit of preparation. There you go. On the matter of umpires, we've had a bit of an issue last week with umpires with car trouble or being required to play or coach other places, and we've been really short of umpires again. Yet again, matches were postponed while they were looking for people to umpire. So, guys, look, put your hand up if you're at all able, and let's see a few new umpires down at the court. That'd be good.
Yeah, unfortunately we had some delays there for the games. And of course, if you have something for us, make sure you let us know via the GameFace SFNL Netball Group Facebook page. It's a real tongue twister.
If anyone has any dirt on Mac, look, feel free to message me. And I'll be very happy to bring it to the table. So, yes, lovely sling you've got there, Mac, I must say.
Oh, yeah, and it was actually really good on Saturday because I could put my lunch in a sling. Yeah, and then I could just pull it out and eat my lunch.
Does it keep your sausage rolls warm?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh, there you
Yeah,
go.
there we go. And back to our topic of the week. So our topic of the week is actually the same as last week due to an error from GameFace, unfortunately.
That would be Will Hunter.
I wasn't going to be that rude, but apparently you are.
I am,
Okay.
yes.
And Will's having a nice smile behind the camera right now. But our topic for this week is to do with live scoring. So GameFace, as we mentioned, have the ability to do live scoring for netball matches, as we do for footy. And we want to know, is it something that you guys want to see? It's a really, really easy system to work. Can be done on your phone via an app with a little bit of internet. And it will aid, I guess, the growth and also publicity for netball around the courts.
Well, I'm going to be an early vote on this one. If Will decides he can be bothered putting it up this week. I'm going to be an early vote on this one. It's certainly something I would like to see.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, if you've got an opinion, let us know.
Yeah, I think, Hugh, I could throw you under the bus for being very smart just then.
Yeah, it's the first time anyone's called me smart in a while, but there you go.
I wasn't meaning it like that.
Okay.
All right. And so our round 8 tips. Obviously, there's no games this weekend because it's Queen's birthday, so enjoy your weekend off. But for round 8, we have Cheltenham v Oakley, which will be a very interesting game.
Yes. Week's break might do a couple of sides a bit of good. Cheltenham might be one of those, I think. So it's going to be a game between quick ball movement and a more patient build-up from Oakley. It's a toss of the coin for me. Cheltenham.
Oh, interesting. Well, I'm just going to be the devil's advocate and I'm going to back Oakley here. So hopefully Oakley come away with a win. Next game we have Cheltenham v Mordialloc. So
Do we?
Oh,
Cheltenham
Caulfield v Mordialloc. Caulfield v Mordialloc. And obviously grand final rematch there from last season. So it will be very interesting to see how both teams play and the result that happens. Who are you backing, Hugh?
It's Mordialloc.
All right.
In this one. I think these are two sides that will improve markedly over the next few weeks. I think this will be a game closer to the standard that we saw in the grand final last year.
Yeah.
I just think Mordialloc, with a few players who could well be back, might have too many guns for Caulfield in this one.
And I'm actually going to back Mordialloc as well there. And our next game is Heatherton v Dingley. So very interesting game there to see our top of the tables teams.
Dingley have been taking all before them, as we've seen. Heatherton have, as we mentioned before, really gelled well and are really proving to be a very difficult side to beat. I think Heatherton's best chance in this one is really matching Dingley's intensity right from the first centre pass. I think they can do that, but I think over the 4 quarters Dingley might just be a little bit too strong. I'll go Dingley in this one.
And I'm also going to back Dingley there. I just think their 4-quarter effort will be able to win them the game. We've done it a bit in the wrong order, but going back to last week's tips, Hugh and I both scored 2 out of 3. So that still puts me in a 2-point advantage.
But it's a long race, this one. It's not a sprint. And Mac, watch your back.
All right, okay, if you say so. And that brings us to the end of the show this week. Again, thank you for tuning in and watching. We hope that you enjoyed the show. And make sure if you have anything, any content, any news stories, to let us know through the GameFace SFNL Netball Facebook group. And no dirt on me, thanks Hugh. And we'll be aiming to get that on the show for you. And make sure you join us in a fortnight's time. Enjoy the long weekend, stay safe, and we'd like to say a massive thank you to our sponsors.
Oh, not there.
Not there this week. Bendigo Bank, Caulfield Park, 1111 Fitness and Swiv's Locker. We couldn't do it without them. And I guess, remember, get your game face on.